Time. You might be listening on the FM AM dial. You could be on TikTok. You could be on Twitch, X, whatever the hell that's called, YouTube, and of course the Occupy Democrats Network. And boy, do we have a lot to get to today. You can also follow me on my socials, by the way, at PTL Radio Show. My website is PTL Radio. Check me out on there. And click that subscription button on the Occupy Democrats page as well. It's only $5 a month, and you get personal interaction with yours truly, Brian Shapiro. We have a lot to get to today. To give you a quick rundown on what we're going to be talking about, Donald Trump's disgraceful Truth Social post in regards to the, let's call it for what it is, the murder of Alexei Navalny. You're not going to believe who he's blaming, but I'll give you a hint. It's not Vladimir Putin and it's not Russia. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're definitely going to be talking about these limited edition Donald Trump gold sneakers. We'll talk about that. A bunch of high-profile Republicans are calling it quits. Why are they calling it quits? Well, it might not surprise some of you. We'll get to that coming up a little bit later on in the program as well. Liz Cheney calling parts of the Republican Party the Putin wing. Yes, we're going to talk about that as well. And it is Monday, and that means the residential PTL liberal is in the house. Chris Wynn looking very bluish today, looking like a Smurf today. What's up with the blue stuff?
No real reason. Just it's President's Day, baby. A little PTL Vegas President's Day edition on a Monday. So
yes.
Good to be here, Brian. And there was certainly no shortage of news across the board, whether it was news, whether it was sports, whether it was tragic murders in other world powers that took place over the weekend. And, of course, we are about to engulf in what is going to be a handful of months of just fascinating political dialogue and events that are about to take place. Mm-hmm. And not all of it's going to be good. Let's put it that way.
So before we get to the real serious stuff, and you alluded to some of the things we're going to be talking about, let's have a little fun to start. So Donald Trump made an unannounced visit to ShoeCon, I guess it's called. I didn't even know what this was. I guess they sell sneakers and shoes and the latest products and all that stuff. So he just shows up at ShoeCon. And I guess I listened to some of the audio where there were a few people that were saying F Joe Biden, but Trump was being booed, and a lot of the people in the crowd were saying let's go Joe Biden. So Donald Trump didn't exactly get a warm welcome. So he's selling these limited edition gold shoes. Some of these people, and by the way, they're not cheap. They're going for around $400. All there is are these cheap gold sneakers. Fake gold, so very appropriate for Donald Trump, with a T on them. And there's pictures of people that have bought these shoes signed for thousands of dollars. One guy holding it up, signed Donald Trump pair of shoes for $9,000, which, you want to say it's not a cult, ladies and gentlemen. I want to play you a little bit of audio, though. And before we play the audio, here are the shoes that are going for $19 without the T on them. You want to talk about a snake oil salesman. These are the same sneakers without the T for Trump on them. Or maybe it stands for tax evasion. I don't know. $19, Chris. But yet they're selling them for $400 because Trump needs money, of course, because he's got to pay another big lawsuit. This one for over $400 million. We're going to get to that story. I want to play some audio quick. So there's a crazy lunatic woman. I know that might be hard for some of you to believe that you could be a MAGA supporter and be a little crazy and be a lunatic because, it's not a cult at all. This is the moment where this crazy lunatic woman is invited on stage, and I just want to play it for you. Trump is like holding her, and she sounds like a complete raging nutcase, and she's making the case of, we all have to vote for Trump. Anyway, just play the audio.
By the way, I got a chance to catch some of those clips. There's no question about it, Brian, that, yes, were there a couple Trump supporters in the crowd, but overwhelmingly, the majority of people there were absolutely booing him. There's no question about it. And look, I'm not going to sit here and presume I know what sneakerheads their politics are right across the board, but I'm pretty fairly confident that most of sneakerheads in America are probably leaning a little bit left and are probably a fellow Democrat like myself. I could be wrong on that, but I'm probably right.
Does this sound like somebody who is mentally stable?
They're after him for no reason. Go out and vote for Trump.
Yeah, because
when a very loud version
very normal
of your caller Julie that calls on the show every single day.
Because Trump MAGAs out there that are in the cult, they're very very normal people, right?
Look at his family. They're all good kids. All good kids.
All good kids. All good kids. He's a wonderful man. Yeah, because when I think of someone who's a good Christian, wholesome man who's honest with a wonderful family, the first person on that list is definitely Donald Trump, the liable rapist. Yeah, the one who's never been honest to anybody in his entire life. Anyway, crazy lunatic people out there. And the reason why Donald Trump is doing this and the reason why he showed up and the reason why he's selling these shoes that probably cost them $5 to make and they're selling them for $400 is because the man is going to go broke if he isn't already. He's asking you for your money, and it is interesting, isn't it, that all these MAGA morons out there that complain about inflation and they complain about how much their eggs cost them, right, and they complain about gas are the same idiots that'll fork up thousands of dollars to get a Donald Trump autographed picture or to get a signed pair of sneakers. By the way, the last time Donald Trump ran was probably 50 years ago, if you just take a look at his build. But anyway, morbidly obese. But anyway, it really is something else. And while all this is going on, Chris, and the cultists out there don't want to talk about Vladimir Putin. And as I mentioned on the show on Friday, this guy, Alexei Navalny, who I wish I could have met. I wish I could have met this hero at one point in my life because that's who he was. Alexei Navalny was and will always be remembered to any logical human being as a hero and someone who went against who is the evil, murderous dictator in Vladimir Putin. This man, it costed him his life, and he is a hero. I compare him to like a Martin Luther King in some aspects, right? Martin Luther King stood up for what he believed in, for racial equality. It costed him his life. Alexei Navalny stood up for right versus wrong, evil. He went against the evil dictator, and he was murdered. So most people in this country that are reasonable people, whether it be Joe Biden or even, Republicans, have been repulsed by this murder, right? But the people on the far right, the MAGA Republicans, don't seem to be going after Vladimir Putin at all. In fact, a lot of MAGA Republicans called into this show on Friday, and they were defending Vladimir Putin. Chris, I want to get reaction from you on this tweet or Truth Social that Donald Trump put out, because he didn't criticize Putin and he didn't criticize Russia. In fact, he's accusing or blaming America for Alexei Navalny's death. I want to read it verbatim.
And some quick background, though. Obviously, over the weekend over in Europe, there was an actual conference, and his widow spoke at the conference. So this isn't just an American reaction to what has taken place here. I understand your comparison to Martin Luther King, but there's no question that he was in opposition to Vladimir Putin in Russia. And not only did he get killed in a Siberian prison on Friday, but he also survived a poisoning like 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. Like, this guy is continuously been a shining light in the country of Russia and the opposition to Vladimir Putin. This is an outrage. This is something where, and look, I've said this on the show before, and look, I'm not someone who easily goes out and calls for assassinations of world leaders or says that world leaders have to go. But I'm going to pull a little Carlo action from The Sopranos when talking about veto in this situation. Vladimir Putin's got to go. He's got to go.
Side note.
He's got to go. So, but circling back, of course, it was a poignant moment over the weekend when his widow spoke at that conference, in which Kamala Harris was there, our vice president. She was the highest ranking American that was there, and there were all kinds of world leaders in Europe that absolutely, positively are as irate as we Americans are for this murder that's taken place in Russia.
Side note, the Russian authorities have already told his widow that they will not be turning over the body for 2 weeks. And the reason why they claim they're doing that is for a chemical examination. Anybody with a brain would tell you the reason why they're doing that is because any chemicals, the way they murdered him or killed him, will not be in his system after several weeks. That's why they're not turning over the body. He was murdered. And while all this is going on, This is what Donald Trump said on Truth Social. He didn't talk about Russia. He didn't blame Vladimir Putin or that evil, murderous regime. He's blaming America. I'm going to read it verbatim, folks. You cannot make this stuff up. Donald J. Trump says, quote, "The sudden death of Alexei Navalny has made me more and more aware of what is happening in our country. It is a slow, steady progression with crooked, radical left politicians, prosecutors, and judges leading us down a path to destruction. Open borders, rigged elections, and grossly unfair courtroom decisions are destroying America. We are a nation in decline, a failing nation, MAGA 2024. There you have Donald Trump in real time blaming, in a sense, the United States of America for the murder of Alexei Navalny. He's blaming radical left politicians and judges. By the way, some of the judges that have presided in some of his cases are not lefty judges. And he's talking about his own situation, blaming the border situation, which, by the way, has absolutely nothing to do with Alexei Navalny's death. Now, Joe Biden has already blamed Vladimir Putin in public. He didn't tweet it out. He was on a stage and he blamed Putin for the death of Alexei Navalny, which is appropriate, which is what you're supposed to be doing here. And do we see the differences? I mean, there's so many differences, but in this situation where Trump makes it about himself, and in a way, am I wrong? He's blaming America for the death and the murder by an evil, murderous dictator, Vladimir Putin, of Alexei Navalny. It's disgusting.
Well, the bottom line is this. Donald Trump refuses to say anything negative when it comes to Vladimir Putin. And by the way, this is kind of apropos for Donald Trump when it comes to world leaders across the board, whether it's Erdogan, right? Whether it's Assad in Syria, whether it's Kim Jong-un in North Korea. He does the same thing where he has this admiration for dictators. It's beyond sickening. It's beyond un-American. And it's, again, it's one of those things that us Democrats, and to be quite honest with you, all of you Americans out there that are actually rational and logical should feel the same way. It should disqualify him for being the president of the United States ever again. Not that he was a great president, because he was a terrible president between 2016 and 2020, and I thought he was just atrocious for the country as a person. I think he's a horrible person, okay? And I think that the only redeeming quality that Donald Trump has is that he doesn't drink booze. That's his one redeeming quality, is that he doesn't drink it all. You know, and Brian, you share that with him too. So that's the one redeeming quality I think that Donald Trump has. Other than that, he is a flat out disgrace as a human being and as an American. And he is as un-American as any American that I can think of in the last 50 to 60 years.
So while all this is going on, though, Liz Cheney also calling out Donald Trump. This is really interesting because she's talking about the far right within the Republican Party, and she uses the term, and these are strong words, the Putin wing of the party. Keep in mind, she comes from a staunch Republican family. Of course, her father, the former vice president. Listen to what Liz Cheney had to say about the far right wing of the party and comparing it to Vladimir Putin.
What Vladimir Putin did to Navalny is what retribution looks like in a country where the leader is not subject to the rule of law. And I think that we have to take Donald Trump very seriously. We have to take seriously the extent to which, you've now got a Putin wing of the Republican Party. I believe the issue this election cycle is making sure the Putin wing of the Republican Party does not take over the West Wing of the White House.
I think Liz Cheney is 150% correct. And again, that's somebody that I have respect for. I disagree with her for years when it comes to policy, but I respect her. And she's calling out the Republican Party. And Chris, while all this is going on, House Republicans are in a lot of trouble. Many of them are shocked because there are some high-profile retirements that have been announced by their colleagues, including, listen to what Ken Buck of Colorado had to say. He said they've signed up to do serious things, and we're not doing serious things. Representative Don Bacon of Nebraska, he's in a key swing seat, by the way. He pointed to his party's struggle to govern as driving the departures. He said, when you're divided in your own conference, the joy of the job is harder. Representative Carlos Jimenez of Florida, an ally of former Speaker Kevin McCarthy, said this is not how he or many of his colleagues imagined life in the majority, saying, I thought that some of our members would be smarter. He said, a lot of us are frustrated with what's going on, and that's just being flat out honest. He said it's foolish, and it's been proven to be foolish. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So far, 23 GOP lawmakers have decided to not seek re-election or resign early. Here's what I will say to them. You made your own bed. You supported Donald Trump. Donald Trump has destroyed your party. Donald Trump has destroyed what I think most Republicans would say what they stand for. Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans stand for threats to our democracy. They don't believe in free and fair elections. Liz Cheney is 150% right. They are pro-Putin. I believe many of these MAGA Republicans do not want Ukraine to win. They want Vladimir Putin to win. And what else do they stand up for? Bigotry, hatred, and, excuses for what took place on January 6th, for example. Defending Donald Trump when it comes to anything. He could say he wants to rip up parts of the Constitution. They'll say, oh, that's not really what he meant. Well, there's some context to that. So these people made their own bed. When you decided to support Donald Trump, it's too late now. You can't escape it now. The face of your party is a guy that's facing 91 felony counts. The face of your party is the guy who is a liable rapist. The face of your party is a snake oil salesman who could be facing jail time. But this is the guy who you brown-nosed. You reap what you sow, ladies and gentlemen. I respect the fact that many of these Republicans are leaving and they say they don't want to deal with it anymore. That's fine. The Republican Party's in a lot of trouble right now.
But, Brian, let's be very clear. A lot of these Republicans are leaving, and to use a sports analogy, it's like an NFL team that is 2-15, right? And it was just awful all year long. And then everybody in the team just decides we're going to quit and we're walking out the door. The Republicans have gotten lambasted over the past 12 months plus as far as what they have not been able to do as lawmakers in Washington, D.C. They have been absolutely just stonewalling anything that Democrats want to get done. Yeah, there was a bipartisan, border actual plan that was put into place, and people like Lindsey Graham and other Republicans actually supported the thing, but it got harpooned by the likes of Donald Trump and some of these other moron Republicans who just wanted to just be opposition to it, and that was like going to be the one thing of legislation
Trump told them to do that.
that they actually, but that was going to be the one thing that they've actually done. They have done nothing in the term between 2022 and 2024 now, early 2024.
Well, that's not
true. And it'll go down as history as one of the most lack of doing anything Congresses in the history of the United States of America.
I'll push back on a little bit of what you said. Here's what they have done. They've done a really good job at going after drag queen reading. They've done a really good job of trying to push more guns in society, not less guns. Yeah. They've done a really good job at going after the LGBT community.
Migrant families that are just coming to America to try to get a better life.
They've done a really good job. They've really done a really good job at going after brown people in this country. They've done a good job at trying to rip health care away from individuals. They've done a good job of trying to make it more expensive for the cost of prescription drugs. And they've done a really good job at not passing bills that would actually help the American people when they complain about the actual things. And then when there's a bill put forth that can help, they don't do it. I'm going to open up the phone lines. So they've done a good job doing those things. 702-221-7283. I want to ask you guys a number of questions here. But before I take calls at 702-221-7283, people on the far right want to say that Joe Biden is in the bunker, that Joe Biden has Alzheimer's. I keep playing these clips for you every day. Donald Trump seemed very confused over the weekend. He always seems very confused. But he seemed very confused over the weekend because he claimed he passed a veterans legislation bill that was actually signed by Barack Obama back in 2014. Have a listen to this.
And for our great veterans, we passed VA accountability and VA choice. Nobody could do it.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Does he not understand that Barack Obama signed that in 2014? What if Joe Biden went up on a stage and he said he passed a bill and he put legislation in and he passed a bill that Donald Trump passed? The Republicans would be all over it. They'd be calling him Sleepy Joe again, and he's in the bunker, and he's not mentally well. This is an everyday occurrence for Donald Trump. Just in the last several weeks, Chris, he mixed up Nancy Pelosi with Nikki Haley.
About January 6th.
Yes. He also said you needed ID to buy bread. He claimed that he defeated Barack Obama. Last I checked, Obama had to leave because he was in there for 8 years, something Trump was unable to do. He has made time and time again, he's made statements about Jeb Bush, saying that Jeb Bush got us into the war in Iraq. This is just in the last several weeks, by the way. No problem. But yet, they want to say that Joe Biden is the guy that's in the bunker. Joe Biden is the guy that has Alzheimer's. By the way, the people that are saying that are people with no medical experience and no medical degrees, the same morons who are probably buying $9,000 sneakers with Donald Trump's signature on it. These are the same people. We're going to open up the phone lines at 702-221-7283. And again, that number, if you want to be a part of the conversation, now's the time to do so. 702-221-7283. Is this Make America First? Donald Trump's Truth Social tweet blaming America for the death of Alexei Navalny. Not one bit of criticism for Vladimir Putin. Not one bit of criticism for the evil, murderous dictatorship, which is the Russian government. He's blaming America. And then you have some crazy nutcases showing up at this, what would you call it? Would you call it?
It was like a shoe convention, right? Yeah, with a bunch of sneakerheads.
Yeah, and you had this crazy, you had this crazy lunatic chick that showed up on a stage with Donald Trump. Would you call this human being mentally stable?
They're after him for no reason. Go out and vote for Trump.
Go out! No reason. He's got a wonderful family. All right, so here's what we're going to do, Chris. We will take some phone calls on the other side. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. And again, that number, if you'd like to be a part of the conversation. We'll take some phone calls on the other side in about 90 seconds. I also have some Jersey Boys tickets to give away today. That's right. You have to live in Las Vegas in order to qualify for them. I'm going to be giving those out a little bit later on in the show as well, so you're going to want to stay tuned for that. Again, that number, 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Do you want to get your hands on those Donald Trump ShoeCon gold sneakers for $400, ladies and gentlemen? Michael Jordan didn't sell his sneakers for that much. Again, 702-221-7283. He's Chris Wynn. I'm Brian Shapiro. Yeah, go ahead.
And
Chris.
a quick note, Brian, I'll be also monitoring the Occupy Democrats Facebook page as well as bouncing over to the YouTube page as well, too. So there's comments across the board on this. And as you can imagine, a lot of them are not very flattering of the former president,
No.
Donald J.
Chris
Trump.
does a very good job monitoring both pages. You can interact with him. Again, that number is 702-221-7283. In 90 seconds, we'll take some phone calls on the other side. You're listening to Pushing the Limits right here on KSHP. Did you know that 99% of air conditioning issues start with airflow issues? Well, guess what? Pioneer Air has your back. They've been operating for 20 years in the industry within the Las Vegas area, large enough to handle all your air conditioning and heating needs, but small enough to know your first name. Pioneer Air focuses on preventative care, much like wellness checks for humans. They believe in wellness checks for air conditioning and heating systems to extend the life of the system you own. So what are you waiting for? Schedule your wellness check with Pioneer Air today. The number to call is 702-831-4840. Here's the best news. Mention this ad. All right, welcome back. It is Pushing the Limits. on a Monday. We're going to have some tickets to give away in hour number 2. Some Jersey Boys tickets at the Orleans. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that. You have to live in Vegas, by the way, to qualify. We've been talking about, if you're just joining us, a lot. You missed a lot. First of all, you got these Trump shoes that Donnie is selling for $400. In fact, somebody paid $9,000 to get some signed gold Donald Trump sneakers. Does Donald Trump even wear sneakers? The guy clearly doesn't work out. His workout is eating KFC food. But
he hasn't worn sneakers since 1971. Yeah. What are you talking about? Yeah,
so, Chris, another.
By the way, a funny comment, Brian, on the Occupy Democrats Facebook page from Cynthia Herman Gwynn. She chimes in, do the sneakers come with a My Pillow from Mike Lindell?
Yeah.
That's outstanding.
I wonder if you'd stuff it with cocaine. Yeah. But anyway, here's the funny thing about these sneakers, ladies and gentlemen. While Trump is selling them for $400, the only difference between this sneaker and the one that Trump is selling, there's a T on the one that Trump is selling. Maybe it stands for tax evasion. These sneakers are going for $18, but yet he's selling the one with the T on it for $400. What a shocker, ladies and gentlemen. Can you imagine if Joe Biden did this? And people want to say it's not a cult. All right, why don't we get right to the phone call, C-Win? Why don't we do that? 702-221-7283. We have one line open. Let's go to Patricia, who's first up on Pushing Limits. Hi, Patricia.
Hi, Brian. First, I want to say I absolutely love you.
Oh, well, thank you.
I just found you. Yeah, I just found you recently, and
I appreciate
I've been listening.
Thank you.
And you say things. You're welcome. You say things to them that I wish I could say.
Well, I
try.
try.
About that woman that you were referring to, I saw that too, and you know, to me, it seemed like it was staged.
You're talking about the crazy lunatic woman.
The crazy lady.
Yeah,
that
you're
was
talking about
him.
You're talking about the crazy lunatic chick that was up there on a stage with Donald Trump. Well, I think we have another piece of audio we'd like to play for you there. Let's call her Crazy Karen, Maga Karen. Let's go with that. Maga Karen, are you there? Can you Maga Karen, are you with us?
Please, you're all good kids, all good kids.
All good kids. Yeah, because when I think of Uday and Kusei, also known as Donnie Jr. and Eric Trump, yeah, they're really good kids. They steal from charity organizations.
Oh.
They're absolute numbnuts. Can I say that on the radio? I think I can.
Yeah.
And yeah, real good kids. Yeah, very normal people, by the way, these MAGA cultists. They're very mentally stable people, very normal.
Oh, I know. I live in Buffalo, New York, and when we first were told we no longer have to wear a mask, I still wanted to wear one, so it's my right.
Well, I'm
and
glad.
I went to Top.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I had this redneck, toothless guy yelling. I mean, he got right in my face, screaming at me that, what's the matter? Why am I wearing a mask? They called it off. You don't have to. And he's screaming. And I said, first of all, back off before I punch you right in the face. I said, if I want to wear a mask, I'll wear a mask. I don't need you telling me I don't have to.
By the way, that's the same guy who every day camps out in front of Target and protests for people going into Target. Can I give you an example real quick, Chris, of and to you, Patricia, of where what you're talking about and where the Republican Party is at today? Steve Scalise, to me, is a perfect example. Okay, here's a guy that almost lost his life, who was shot. He doesn't want to do anything about gun control. Here's a guy who voted against stem cell research. He has cancer, and he takes stem cell research medicines. He's accepted stem cell research when it benefits him. Here's a guy, right, who has done nothing about guns, nothing, accepted stem cell research. He's a guy who was mocking wearing masks during the pandemic. Oh, guess who's been wearing a mask in the House chambers the last couple months? Steve Scalise. I mean, he is like the perfect example of these far-right MAGA Republican hypocrites.
Well, to Patricia and to Brian, look, there's been a lot of hypocrisy when it comes to COVID-19 across the board.
Yeah.
Judge Jeanine over on Fox News, right, tries to play the card of, she's like an anti-vaxxer and always questioning things when it comes to COVID-19. But guess who got vaccinated? Guess who actually is actually benefiting from having a vaccination and has not died because the vaccine didn't kill her? Right. It's Judge Judge Jeanine Pirro. So
Yeah.
it's the hypocrisy is just so ridiculous when it comes to something like COVID-19, which
By the
I've
way,
said many times
Chris.
is not a political thing. It shouldn't be a political thing.
Yeah.
But right-wingers, mostly right-wingers,
Chris,
mostly right-wingers,
Chris, I know,
make it one.
I know Chris likes to suck back a few beers now and then. Judge Janine would drink you into the ground. By the way,
she would destroy me.
I know. I have firsthand knowledge of people that know her personally that said she used to show up drunk to her show. Patricia, it is so good to hear from you. Be safe out there in
Could
Buffalo.
I say one more?
Sure.
Could I say one more thing?
Sure.
You know, they act like he's this god, and we try to tell them that they're in a cult. And to me, you know how they say he's a gaslighter.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's so rich, why does he constantly wear that same suit, the navy blue suit with the white shirt and that goofy red tie?
Yeah.
He has it on all the time, especially at his
If
rallies.
he's so rich, why doesn't he get a facelift? Because he wears those 5 layers of cake makeup, orange makeup. Hey, he's Cheeto Jesus. You know, that's who he is.
Well,
and, you know,
but this is what kills me. And then they think that he's got all this money. If he had
He
some
doesn't.
money, wouldn't he change his clothes?
Yeah.
But I think the suit represents. I think he thinks he looks presidential because he's wearing red,
yeah.
white, and blue.
He looks like a clown, is
And-
what he looks like. And I think Patricia,
tell me
I think
about it.
I think he gave all of his money to Melania so that she could make one public appearance with him every 3 months. Patricia, it's good to hear from you. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thanks,
Okay,
Patricia.
you call back
Oh,
anytime.
I love your show.
Thank you.
Oh, I will.
Thank you,
Oh,
Patricia.
Yeah,
keep
Brian,
doing
the
what
whole
you're doing,
religious
Brian.
thing, right?
Thank you,
It's just-
Patricia.
it just baffles my mind because the idea, again, that Trump is some religious figure, right? Going back to 2015, right, when I believe it was at CPAC, you had a lot of evangelicals there, and they're talking about Donald Trump like, oh, yes, God is going to use him. He's someone that is absolutely a believer. I'm like, what are you talking about? There is a flat-out issue of delusion when it comes to MAGA and evangelicals, particularly when it comes to the topic of religion and Donald J. Trump.
You think it'd be offensive if I ever meet Donald Trump and I ask for his autograph with a Cheeto? Like if I give him a Cheeto to sign it, you think that? I don't know. Maybe he would do that. That
He
might
probably
be.
wouldn't get too upset about it. He'd
No.
probably think it would be pretty funny.
I'd have enough money maybe to buy one of his stupid sneakers. 702-221-7283.
They're after him for no reason. Go out and vote for Trump.
What a lunatic!
Is
All
that
right.
Melania Trump?
Wait,
Brian
who do we
Shapiro?
have on the line? Oh, do we have? Oh, okay. All right, 702-221-7283. Chris, I'm going to let you handle this one. We go to Julie. Julie, were you at the Sneaker Con? Were you speaking at the Sneaker Con?
Hello?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Were you
How
speaking?
you doing, Brian?
I'm
today?
good. Were you at Sneaker Con?
No.
okay.
No.
Oh, I thought
no.
that was you. Okay, I'm
calling,
sorry.
No.
Okay,
No.
go ahead. Okay.
No. I was calling you because I would like to know what is the purpose of your show. Would you like to share that with me?
You want to know what the
What is the
purpose
purpose?
is? What was the purpose of your phone
The
call?
purpose
What's the purpose of your phone call?
your show.
Okay.
So you have a
Sure.
show because
Sure.
you want to
Sure.
share
What's
your
the
opinions,
purpose?
right?
The purpose of my show is so I can destroy MAGA people like you every day. That's the purpose of my show.
No, you're
Yeah.
not destroying
Listen,
me
when I was
because,
growing up, no, Julie, I'm answering your question. So when I was growing
No,
up,
you're not
no,
destroying
I'm
me.
answering
Let
your
me
question. You
tell
got
you-
no. Let me finish. You said what's the purpose of my show? Julie, growing up as a child, I really only had one goal in life, and it wasn't really even to get an education, which I do have an education. It wasn't really to make friends or do good in society. It was just to make fun of MAGA supporters. Really, that's my only goal in life. But to be serious, Julie, it's very difficult to be serious with you when you call in, but I will answer your question seriously. I will, if you could just be quiet. Are you capable of being quiet? Do you want me to answer your question? I was joking. There are a couple different reasons why I do this show. Number one, because I love radio. Chris knows I do, as does he. And I enjoy doing a radio show every day. Number two, it's to talk about the big news of the day. Number three, to do it in an entertaining way and have fun because life is very stressful. So I like to try to put smiles on some people's faces and to cover the news and to be opinionated. And you might not like this, Julie, but to call out and separate fact from fiction, to call out bad people and to call out people that are a danger to this country.
Or are ignorant
Yes.
or are uninformed.
So, Julie, that's why
another topic too.
That's
as well.
why I do the show, Julie. And while you might not like it because you're a MAGA cultist, that's what I do on the
said
show.
that?
Wait,
I
time
don't
out though,
like
Brian.
it.
She definitely
Who
likes
said-
it because
who
she
said
tunes
that
in
I
every
don't
single
like
day
it?
and she calls
Did I
your show
say
every single
that?
day. So,
Can
Julie,
you allow me?
Julie absolutely is entertained by your show, Brian. And yes, your show basically the purpose is the same purpose that every radio host has, right? Is to inform maybe a little bit, is to give your takes and opinions, and it's also to be entertaining.
By the
right?
way,
and to entertain.
Somebody on social,
that's what the purpose is.
Somebody on social media just say get his radio license pulled. Hey, dummy. I don't have a radio license, and you don't need a radio license.
That's not how it works.
Yeah,
folks.
hey, Maga dumbbell. You don't need a radio license to go on the air.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, go ahead, Julie. Go ahead.
Look at his family. They're all good kids. All good kids.
Go ahead, Julie.
Okay, who said that? Did I say that you need a license? I can go and say on social media and speak my mind.
Julie.
No,
I
never said
I
you
never
said it.
said.
Somebody else
But
Julie
you're asking
text that,
for
yeah,
money.
on a message.
You are
Julie,
not-
was
you're
that-
asking for money?
Does that you
Let
that
me speak.
Julie?
Let
Be
me
honest.
speak.
Be
Let me
honest.
speak.
Be honest. Did you really scream out Donald Trump? He's got good kids. Was that you? Be honest with me.
You have a severe TDS.
Was that not you?
Help.
Was that not you, Julie?
Family. They're all good kids. All good kids.
So I have TDS.
Talking about
Julie,
Trump,
I think you have
and you are
TFS. Julie,
incapable-
you are
incapable of having a conversation.
I'm the one that's incapable. Okay,
Wait
Julie,
a minute,
let's
time
have.
out. The call
Yes.
started because Julie wanted to know what's the nature of the Brian
I
Shapiro
wouldn't
Pushing Limit
imagine.
show, right?
Uh,
That was the
let me
essence,
speak.
Julie. That's the essence of your
Did
phone call, right?
parent-
You just
did
wanted to
your
hear
parents-
details about
did your-
why
Oh my
Brian does
goodness,
his show.
These people are so unhinged. Oh my God.
I'm unhinged. Okay, Julie. So tell me.
They're after him for no reason.
She just ignored everything I said, too, by the way.
Okay, Julie, I'm going to give you one opportunity. Julie, stop talking. I'm going to give you
My
one.
goodness.
Julie, stop talking. I'm going to give you an opportunity now.
No, you are very.
Pot her down. The only point of this call was asking me what the purpose of my radio show is. We've talked about his shoes. We've talked about Vladimir Putin. We've talked about a number of topics. So now I'm going to give you the opportunity to make some sort of sense, which you never have.
Do you have a take?
Yeah. What's your take, Julie? Go ahead.
Okay, I wouldn't imagine. If Michael Jackson would be alive today, you would be mocking his skin every single
All right.
day.
Have a nice day, Julie. Another great
Wait, she
point.
brought up just random.
What does that have to
about
do with
Michael
anything?
Jackson? What? And then
Let me tell
would
you
be
something,
mocking
okay?
What?
Michael Jackson has nothing to do with this conversation.
Yeah,
I have
at
no
all.
idea what she's talking about. Julie, you're the one that's unhinged. That doesn't make sense. I just gave you an opportunity to talk about any of the topics that we've discussed today. Number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation.
And by the way, there's been a number of serious things that we have discussed that she could have maybe chimed in on, or gave some sensible, logical observation.
I'm going to send a
which
lifetime.
she did not do.
I'm going to send a lifetime supply of Cheetos to Julie. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Let's go to Joey, who's next up on Pushing the Limits. Hi, Joey.
Hey, Brian, I'm laughing, man. I love you, man.
Thank you.
Hey, guys, I gotta wipe my tears, man. You guys are awesome.
I know they're not MAGA tears. That's good.
Oh God, no.
Good.
Hey, listen. I just did we get a chance? Did you guys? I came in a little later. I apologize, but because I was trying to catch it and I
How
was
dare you.
doing everything.
How dare you?
Hey, I got a day off. Okay, whatever. I kind of.
Yeah.
Hey, did we get a chance to talk about the GoFundMe? What's up with that GoFundMe where millionaires are trying to support billionaires?
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
It is
What's going on with
interesting.
that?
It is
What is this
interesting.
GoFundMe that he speaks of, Brian Shapiro?
Well, it is interesting that the people that say they have a lot of money, like Donald Trump, who's bragged about that he's such a billionaire, are the same people that sell themselves out and selling cards, memorabilia cards, and they cut up a suit that Donald Trump wore allegedly when he was indicted, and he's selling these sneakers for $400 when without the T on it, which I don't think that stands for Trump. I think it stands for tax evasion. They go for $19, and he's selling them for $400. That doesn't sound like a guy that has a lot of money.
Yeah, but Brian, my thing was that there's a millionaire, a woman that's a millionaire who put on a GoFundMe for this guy, for Donald Trump. She's a millionaire trying to support a billionaire Donald Trump's valued at $2.6 billion. This woman's valued at $35 million. Her net worth.
I don't
and she's
really
married to another millionaire that's $600
I hear
million.
you. I don't really go
and
by
that's
what Donald Trump values himself or people value him, because Donald Trump valued his weight at 200 pounds. I think he's double that. So I don't really go by what Trump or people value him. But I will say this: Donald Trump is in a lot of trouble financially. Donald Trump is in a lot of trouble legally.
Boo-hoo.
And Joe Biden has not been indicted for anything. And people could throw stuff at a wall and hope it sticks and talk about Hunter Biden until the cows come home. Donald Trump is the guy that said if you plead the fifth, you're probably guilty. Donald Trump and members of his family have pleaded the fifth over 500 times in the last several years. So that's all you need to know about Donald Trump.
And to the caller, too, this, all right, I'm not going to put it past anybody that's MAGA or a Trump supporter setting up some GoFundMe or trying to, have some charity for Donnie T when it comes to him getting money. Because the fact of the matter is this, and even Michael Cohen, his attorney, and other people that have done research and investigative reporters have said that with this judgment against him that's almost $400 million, with the judgment that E. Jean Carroll, right, that is for another, $80 million, that Donald Trump's not even going to be able to come up with that cash, right? He doesn't have cash on hand.
I want to ask Joey
to be able to pay that.
So,
Joey, it's not going to shock me whatsoever.
I want to ask Joey
if
a question.
MAGA people are doing that.
If you had and I'm going to ask this to all the callers, Joey. Yeah. If you had the opportunity, I'm not saying you'd want to get Donald Trump's autograph, but if you had to get him to sign something, I would want him to sign an orange jumpsuit. What would you like Donald Trump to sign?
His own death certificate.
Oh, that's interesting. I wouldn't mind him signing a Stormy Daniels blow-up doll.
It's a little harsh.
Yeah. Stormy Daniels blow-up doll is what I would have him sign. Chris, what would you like him to sign?
I'd like him to sign a My Pillow for me. That'd be kind of cool.
That'd be good. Yeah, that'd be good. Joey, it is good to hear from you, my friend.
And then I'll give it to
appreciate the call, Joey.
my
Thank you.
cats at the house and let them sleep on it.
Thank you.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I'll have him sign a Barack Obama 8x10 photo. That's what I would have him sign.
Thanks for the call, Joey.
Thanks, Joey. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Gary. Gary is next up on Pushing the Limits.
How you
Hello,
doing, Gary?
Gary. What's up?
Happy El Presidente Day.
Yes, sir.
Is my buddy Chris Flynn over there with you?
Oh, you know
You
the
guys-
deal right now, Gary. It's a Monday, right?
Yep.
Even if it is a holiday,
It should be
it's a
outlawed.
Monday, so I'm here.
No, there should be an executive order. You guys should not be together.
By the way,
at all.
Comer has already called Chris Winnis a blue Smurf because of what he looks like today.
Yeah.
James Comer's already done that.
All right.
Go ahead, Gary.
I don't want to get personal. I just know I want the wall built. What is the problem? We want money for Iran. We want money for Ukraine so that Russians don't win the war. We want money so that Israel wins this war. What is the problem? You can't. Your side of the aisle can't approve, say, $5 billion, a lousy $5 billion,
I
and
want
make
a wall
everybody
too.
happy.
Gary, I want a wall that says no orange MAGAs allowed. That's what I want. That's the wall that I want. No MAGAs allowed to cross. That's what I want.
All right. Well,
there's
I just want to say
this
something
town,
about
Gary,
George
called
Soros.
Washington, D.C., and there's a lot of lawmakers there that do not agree with you necessarily when it comes to building a physical
I'm going
wall
outside the
along
box,
the entire southern
Chris.
border. And so, therefore, it's made it very difficult over the dozens upon dozens of years to actually get one.
You're wasting time. Money is time. Who's this George Soros guy? Why don't you guys take off the George Soros knee pads already? He's the biggest threat to this country. Why can't we send him back to Hungary?
You're getting kind of
Okay, so
random
hold on. So Gary,
Brian, he's
hold
getting
on.
random.
So
Yeah.
Gary, it's not George. Gary, it's not George Soros. It's George Soros. And can you please explain to me how George
connection,
Soros
yeah.
is ruining the country? Can you give me an example of what you're talking about?
Well, I don't like the fact they say he just bought like 1,000 radio stations, or he's the prime shareholder.
How is that ruining the country?
Talk radio.
How is that ruining the country? Do you know just about every
Because
talk?
he keeps pumping money into these super liberal, progressive people and government.
Okay,
that
so give
wanna
me an
let
example.
Criminals go.
Okay, so give me an example of somebody that he's sponsored that is, quote, letting criminals go. Can you be specific and give me an example?
Oh, here you go. It's your routine, but all the facts and everything. I don't have them in front of me.
So when somebody has a strong opinion, I ask them for facts to back up their opinion. Yes, I guess you got me on that, Gary. When somebody has a strong opinion, I ask them for facts to back up their opinion. Now, George Soros has funded some people, and some might call them lax on crime. But you seem to have a problem with George Soros buying a bunch of radio stations when...
Instead of building a wall. So, Brian, I think you missed this part. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Gary, but you're trying to insinuate that George Soros should pay for the wall? Is that what you're trying to say?
Hey, I didn't even think of that.
Wait, time out.
Actually,
you did kind of think about it
where
because
are all these
that's
billionaires?
what I got from
We
you
got all
when
kinds
you
of
brought up
billionaires
George
from
Soros
both
out of the
sides of the
blue, talking about
very good
funding
question.
for the wall.
By the way,
Yeah,
Gary,
like,
and by
I
the way,
didn't just pick
Gary,
that
I
out of nowhere.
appreciate the
Yeah.
call, Gary.
Gary,
By the way,
and he's all over the place, man.
99% of talk radio stations are owned by right-wing MAGA idiots. I want to be very clear on that.
And most of the hosts
I've been in the
are
radio.
right-wingers
I've
too,
been in the
right?
radio business for 20 years. Name me some very popular left-wing liberal radio hosts that are paid for by George Soros. Gary, with all due respect, I don't think you have any idea what you're talking about. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Richard. Let's get Richard out of the way here. Richard, what's going on?
Dreaming of going into another time and time again.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have
It's
Roseanne
not
Barr on the
right.
line. Thank you, Richard, for
Richard
the
just
phone call.
belting
Appreciate
things
that.
out.
Dick, thank you so much for the call. 702-221-7283.
Brian checking out that Occupy
yeah.
Democrats text line. Diane Lampy chimes in. I think Julie has a crush on Brian.
Well, guess what? I don't have a crush on her, and I don't care what she looks like. Me and her would.
Sharp chimes in. Bye, Julie.
Yeah,
Like, bye,
we don't
Felicia,
get along.
You know, from Friday.
Yeah,
In the same
702-221-7
way.
702-221-7283 is the number to call. Let's go to Mohammed, who's next up on Pushing the Limits. Hi, Mohammed.
Hey, Mohammed.
How we doing today, boys?
I'm doing
good.
okay, Mohammed. How are you?
I'm phenomenal. Hey, listen, I think we got a new
Are you stuttering?
dwarf.
What's going on?
Yes,
Hey,
yes.
You sound like Joe
that's-
Biden.
Spit it out.
Well,
Let's go.
I sound like Chris Wynn,
you do.
aka
You do right now.
Stuttery,
Spit it out. Let's go.
the new stuttery one, dwarf. So, hey, man, I agree with that last guy. George Soros is buying all these radio stations so he could push this left-wing agenda. That's
What
he's
radio
doing.
station has George Soros bought? Can you name me one
Well,
station?
I can tell you one he didn't buy, the one you're on, because
Okay.
it sucks. But
I
other than
understand.
that,
Did he
Understood.
buy WINN 111570? That's my birthday, by the way. And that, of course,
is that
I'm
the one
spelling
you
out my
stutter
last
on
name.
5
You bought
days
that
a week?
one, right?
What? No,
Mohammed?
I'm
Yeah.
serious. What station did George Soros buy? I'm just
I have
curious.
no idea. I'm just
He's tossing
listening.
it out.
I just listened to the last guy. I have no idea what he
Are
bought.
you a MAGA supporter? Are you a Republican or a Democrat?
I'm going for my orange spray tan as soon as I get off this call.
You are. So are you married,
Yes.
sir, if you don't mind me asking? Are you married? Do you have a girlfriend?
To my sister, yes.
Gotcha. You're married to your sister. Well, that makes sense if you're a Trump supporter. So when you talk to your sister and you
One
say,
of my 7 wives.
very nice, very nice. We have a what would you call that?
Shap, judging by the accent,
Warren Jeffs.
I'm going to go
Warren Jeffs on the line.
Florida, Arkansas,
Yeah.
Louisiana, or Idaho.
So, sir, if you don't
That's
mind,
what he's- from one of those states.
sir, when you're walking into your mobile home and you kiss your sister goodnight, do you tell her that you're proud to support a liable rapist? Is that what you tell her? Because that's really who you support.
Well, listen, so does Joe Biden's also been accused of similar things.
He has?
What do you
Really?
have to say there? He has.
Was he indicted on anything?
He
or-
has.
What,
He
was
hasn't been indicted.
Oh,
I
was
don't
he
know
found
what
liable?
statute falls under sniffing little girls' hair.
Okay, well, that wasn't
And-
breaking the law. Didn't break the
Well-
law. Yeah, Donald Trump is found liable for sexual abuse, so you definitely lost that argument, sir. 25 women
Well-
have 25. Well, don't well me. 25 women have accused him of sexual assault or rape, including his ex-wife. Let me ask you a question. God forbid, if somebody in your family died and you owned a golf course, would you bury them on the first hole to save money on taxes, sir? Is that what you would do?
Listen, if it's a tax break and I don't have to give it to Uncle Sam, absolutely.
Well, then you sound like what Hillary Clinton called a deplorable, sir. You sound like a deplorable. to
Yes,
me.
yes. She should go. Listen, they should line them up, all 3 jail cells: Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump, and Joe Biden. If they have anything in common, they all have that.
What
in
did
common. They should all be locked
What
up.
did Joe Biden do to break the law? What did he do?
Well, besides all the money he's embezzled through
What
his
money did he embezzle?
brand,
Where-
the Joe Biden brand.
Wait. Hold on. Joe Biden has a brand, and you're not talking about Donald Trump? What brand does Joe Biden have? Have you ever seen a Joe Biden flag on the back of a pickup truck?
Listen,
or
the
Joe
only
Biden
difference-
sneakers?
The only difference is that, God forbid, that Trump gets back in the White House, because you think Trump had a lot of cases? Wait till you see how they start to stack up against Biden and his family and his crackhead kid.
What do you mean? What do you mean Biden brand? What are you talking about? Biden
Although
doesn't have a brand.
I would buy the Biden steaks if those are out there. I'd
Okay.
definitely be in on
Meanwhile,
that.
Donald Trump is selling. You probably have bought 3 pairs of Donald Trump sneakers, you bozo. You probably bought those sneakers. Why don't you admit
Hey,
it?
Mohammed, speak the truth.
Mohammed,
did you go
bought
on
those
the,
sneakers,
on the,
didn't you?
Did you go on the second and third market last night and pick up some of those sneakers?
Yeah.
You did, didn't you?
I'm going to buy you a pair of Donald Trump sneakers, gold sneakers, but I'm going to buy the knockoff for $19, and I'm going to write the word buffoon, and I'm going to send it to you for your birthday. What do you think about that, Mohammed?
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I'll wear them. I'll wear them with pride.
Yeah, okay. Well, I wish you and your sister good luck with the rest of your marriage. I really do. And,
And it's a double wide, not a single wide, just so we're clear on the trailer.
All right, Mohammed. Well, we appreciate your phone call and the entertainment. Thank you very much,
All right.
Mohammed. Yeah.
Goodbye.
I don't know if I believe him that he is married to his sister, but it would not shock me. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Again, that number 702-221-7283. Oh, wait, I think we have Mohammed's sister.
I was going to say, we have Mohammed's sister.
Oh, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
They're after him for no reason. Go out and vote for Trump.
I think that's Mohammed's sister. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Why don't we go to Roy? Roy is next up on Pushing
Hey, Roy.
Limits. What's up, Roy?
How you doing, guys?
Going good.
First thing I got to say is I bought a loaf of bread the other day, and I did not have to show ID.
Well, you better
So that
tell
was a
Donald.
good thing.
You better tell Trump.
That's
that.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'm blown away that you
know.
didn't have to do that.
Trump's the guy in the bunker. He's the one with Alzheimer's. Donald Trump is the guy who, needs some help. Not Joe Biden.
Well, no. 2 things I want to mention. One, I read an article today. Historians rated Biden the 14th best president. Now, I don't know how accurate or not accurate that is, but the interesting thing is they rated Trump last. That I agree with. The other thing is, which is very scary, it's one thing to be worth $2 billion if he is or isn't. Doesn't mean you have that kind of liquidity. I would be worried that this man could sell who knows what kind of secrets to foreign people to raise money. I mean, the man has no scruples, no honesty, and he's going to be in desperate need of cash.
Well, there's no question about that. What do you think he'll be selling next? So he sold pieces of his suit that he was indicted on. He's been selling these Trump sneakers that he just announced. He sold those Donald Trump trading cards. I can't wait to get the rookie card. What do you think he'll be selling next? Used toilet paper? Well, really?
Naked pictures of Melania. Who knows what's next?
Well, we already got those for free, so I wouldn't pay for that. We already got those for free. Yeah, Roy, you're right.
He's desperate.
Oh, there's no question he's desperate, and he's in a lot of trouble, both financially and legally. And it's going to be an interesting 5 or 6 months, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. Yes, Roy.
Somebody else brought up something about Biden have a debate with him.
Say that again. Come at me again. What'd you say?
Should have a debate. National debate with
Trump.
I
while I'm a little concerned with Joe Biden, I wish he was a little bit younger and a little sharper. I think Joe Biden will be able to hold his own, and I think he would do just fine. And yes, I do think they should have the debate. I agree.
See, I don't, because to me, everybody knows what Trump is already. I don't think
it's going to change any debate. I agree. I don't think it's going to change anybody's minds.
But I think it could hurt Biden if he makes any kind of foolish statement.
I mean, I would like it for my own selfish reasons because I think it would be somewhat entertaining. Roy, it's good to hear from you, my friend. I appreciate the call. Okay, you have a good rest of your day.
Yeah, if this was a debate that actually was substantive, right, and they actually talked about serious issues, then Joe Biden would wax his backside. He would absolutely destroy him because Donald Trump doesn't engage in that. Now, if it was a debate in which it was just hurling juvenile insults, right, and making up things, and dare I say this about Donald J. Trump, lying about everything, and basically, unloading a bunch of things that are not factually accurate, then Donald Trump might have a chance to even to kind of be in the discussion, I guess. But if it was actually something that was serious, Joe Biden would destroy him.
I don't want to go anywhere near Donald Trump's backside, and I'm pretty sure Joe Biden doesn't, or Melania, or anybody else either. 702-221-7283. Let's try to steal a few more phone calls, just like apparently the 2020 election was stolen, if you ask the MAGAs out there. Let's go to Samuel. Sam, thanks for calling in. What's on your mind?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Yes, sir.
I'm here.
Go right ahead.
Sam?
Yeah, I'm giving you guys a shout out for one. You guys doing a great job.
I appreciate it.
It's just a shame that we got people of this country is come up with ridiculous things and to talk about Trump and put Trump on a pedestal. My biggest thing with Donald Trump is why for a person that has so many criminal things against him, we allow him to become president of the United
No, because
States.
it's a cult. Because it's a cult, and there are so many people out there that feed into his bigotry, that support his bigotry and his hatred and his disgusting things that he says. I mean, even going after Nikki Haley's husband serving overseas just the other day, and I don't hear many Republicans speaking out on that except for Nikki Haley. It's absolutely disgusting, but there are people out there that support his bigoted agenda.
And yes, sir, because I left the country in 2019, when Trump was in office, and I just got back in July of last year. And when I come back and watch YouTube a lot, and you see all the stuff Trump doing, he's trying to beat the fuss at the judge, doing all this. I'm trying to figure out if that was me or somebody else, he'd be locked up. But why did they allow him to get away with all this?
Well, I'll do you one better. It's not just you or us, myself or Brian or Numchuck.
Right.
It's any Democrat. If Joe Biden, if Kamala Harris, if Barack Obama, if Jimmy Carter, if George Bush engaged in the same things that Donald Trump has engaged in over the past 8 years, not only would their political career be absolute toast, but yes, they would face all kinds of legal jeopardy the same way that Donald Trump is facing right now. And
yes, sir.
But they would have never got even close to the White House, which Donald Trump resided in for 4 years between 2016 and 2020. So it's just crazy.
You're right,
the whole idea, like that. I mean, and he's still doing it today. To the caller, right? He's still doing it today.
Right.
Imagine Hillary Clinton, right? Bear with me, Brian, and the caller here. Imagine Hillary Clinton back in 2015 when she was running for president said, imagine that she was actually charged, James Comey, right? And the FBI actually charged her with crimes. And she said to the American public before she was about to be elected president that, if I get into the White House, I'm just gonna make the Justice Department get rid of the charges. Imagine if Hillary Clinton did that. The right-wingers,
wow.
Fox News would be going ballistic if Hillary Clinton tried to do that. Donald Trump does it, though, and all of these MAGA people out there and all you right-wingers act like it's no big deal, you don't give a damn, and it's kind of par for the course for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And I know I'm getting fired up here, caller, and to Brian, but look, I mean, there's so much, and Brian started this show off by saying, what if Joe Biden did this? What if Hillary or Barack, we say it all the time, did the things that Donald J. Trump has done in the last 8 years?
What if Hillary Clinton was found liable for rape in a courtroom?
Absolutely.
What if Hillary Clinton stole from a charitable organization? What if
Biden, Barack Obama?
What if Hillary Clinton
Barack Obama found guilty of liable rape?
What if Hillary Clinton, when she was running for office in 2015, running for president, said she didn't respect John McCain because he was captured? I mean, this is the stuff. And by the way, what if Hillary Clinton went on Twitter or X or whatever it's called now and blamed America for the death of this hero? Okay, what if?
Right.
I mean, it's unfathomable.
It's beyond the pale, isn't it, caller? I mean, it really is.
Yes, sir. Yes, and it is really ludicrous because I didn't hear some of the stuff. Even some of the callers that call, I can't believe that many people in this country is that dumb that they're gonna follow a guy who's gonna take them down in the ground.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. When people ask me, "Hey, do you think Donald Trump did any good?" The first thing I tell them is, yeah, he did a really good job of exposing how ignorant so many people are in this country. So I give him credit for that. He does it every day. He shows it every day. I appreciate your call, my friend. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. You too. You all guys have a good day.
Thanks,
you.
caller.
You as well.
Yeah, millions of misguided Americans still support Donald J. Trump. It's just unbelievable.
It really is.
Yeah.
Number to call again if you want to be a part of the show, 702-221-7283. That's 702-221-SAVE. Even though I can't promise I can save you money on these golden Donald Trump sneakers. I can't promise I can do that. All right, let's go to Susan. Susan is next on Pushing the Limits. Hi, Susan.
Hey, Susan.
Hi. How you doing? Don't call me Sue.
Doing all right, Sue. What's going on?
I'm Susan. I just wanted to talk about the speeches that I've seen of both Donald Trump and Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Biden talks about his record and what he wants to do in the future to help Americans, while Trump makes fun of his opponents and praises his base but he never offers any solutions or good things that he's done, or proof of anything that he's done.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think it's such a stark difference. I don't understand how people can't look at that and think, well, Biden's a politician, but Trump is an idiot.
Yeah.
I don't understand why people can't make that correlation.
Well, I think there's a lot of people that are incapable of making correlations, and I think you're right. Listen, when you have 6 out of 10 Republicans, I've heard it's as high as 7 out of 10 Republicans that still believe that Donald Trump won the 2020 election. It's like asking a bunch of Republicans, is the earth round or flat? Now, you'll have a couple whack jobs or morons like Kyrie Irving that'll say, yes, the earth is flat. But what would you say if 6 or 7 out of 10 Democrats said that Hillary Clinton won the 2016 election? I would be calling them out as well, but they don't.
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton conceded.
No.
And Republicans out there will
She
say,
did.
Hillary Clinton's an election denier. No, she's not. She said that Donald Trump was an illegitimate president because of his behavior, because of the things he said. She never said that the election was stolen, and these Republicans are liars. Hillary Clinton conceded the next day. There was no insurrection, and I don't care if people want to characterize it as a riot or insurrection. It was embarrassing. It was wrong. And if Donald Trump didn't lie about the 2020 election, then there wouldn't have been an insurrection.
But Brian, and to the caller as well, too, let's be honest and let's be perfectly clear why a lot of millions of Americans in this country will vote for Donald Trump in November of this year. It's because he has an R next to his name. There are people, and there are millions of Americans out there, okay, that absolutely positively either hate Joe Biden, right, would never support a Democrat, regardless of who they were. They could be the second coming as a leader. They could check all the boxes. They could actually like the person. But there are millions of Americans out there, and yeah, they're MAGA, and they're on the right, that will never support a Democrat. So that's a fact that we have to just accept.
Yeah.
And I've talked about this on the show many times to both of you. Here's the deal, man. Elections are not about changing people's minds. It's not about changing the Trumpers out there and turning them into Biden people. It's about getting out your side of the vote. It's about everybody out there understanding that Donald Trump, as the president of the United States, would be an absolute disaster at the end of this year. You cannot have him.
I want to repeat this again. This is important. Donald Trump went on his Truth Social, as I like to call it, Lie Social, and blamed America for the death of Alexei Navalny. Is there anything worse you can do than that? I mean, it's just unbelievable.
No.
Susan, I appreciate your call. And
hey, I just wanted to say one more thing.
Sure.
I just wanted to say that your passion is contagious. I've been not involved for a long time, but you make me want to get involved again.
Well, that makes me feel good, and I'll tell that to Julie because Julie wanted to know what the
stuff.
purpose was of this show, and to be honest with you, that's a part of it. Susan, I wasn't extremely involved with politics until Donald Trump got into the equation, and I'll be honest with you, I'm more involved than ever before because we can't allow him to win. Susan, thank you so much for the phone call.
No.
Appreciate those kind comments. Thank you very much.
You betcha.
All right.
Thanks, Susan.
702-221-7283. We have more people waiting on hold. Let's get right to it. The Blue Smurf joining me in studio, Chris Wynn. I have to take at least one cheap shot at him.
It's basically pastel blue, but I'll let it pass for
All right.
Honolulu blue and silver for my sporting.
You're just a Blue Jays fan. It's okay. You're a Toronto Maple Leafs fan. Let's go to Antonio.
Detroit Lions, brother. Come on now.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that. Antonio, you're next up on Pushing the Limits.
You wouldn't want to say that.
What's up, Antonio?
Hey, Brian. Hi. Hopefully my voice comes through fine. I have a little bit of the kung flu going on.
We can hear you,
But
Antonio.
Your voice sounds much better than Robert F. Kennedy Jr. on his best day. Go right ahead, sir.
I just wanted to leave you guys with a quote. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's the 2019, I believe, show from HBO, Chernobyl.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to leave you guys with a quote from that. It reads, "What is the cost of lies? It is not that we will mistake them for the truth. The real danger is that if we hear enough lies, then we no longer recognize the truth at all. What can we do then? What else is left but to abandon even the hope of truth and content ourselves instead with stories?"
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, what I can from that quote, what I can tell you is there are a lot of people that support Donald Trump that can't spell the word fact. He lied 30,000 times, at least that when he was in office. And, in this day and age, it seems like all people care about more, on the far right at least, is conspiracy theorists like Alex Jones than actually real journalists like Jake Tapper. I mean, they don't want to hear real journalism. They want to hear conspiracy theories and bat you-know-what crazy nonsense, and that's what gets ratings, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, they just want to own the libs and get nothing done. They just want to own the libs and prove their point.
Amen. I just asked Ron DeSantis. He asked. Thank you for the call, by the way, Antonio.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
And here's the thing on that, Brian. Look, there's been an assassination of truth that's been going on for the past handful of years. No question about it. Since Trump got in the White House, look, are there a lot of politicians out there? Because I can see all you MAGAs coming a mile away, right, Shap? So what do you mean? There's Democrats out there that lie too. Let me tell you something. All right? Donald Trump is a heavyweight champion. He is the Muhammad Ali, Michael Jordan of liars when it comes to people in the political realm. That is a bona fide, documented fact. We're talking about tens of thousands of lies from Donald Trump. Has Joe Biden or Bill Clinton or, George Bush or Barack Obama, even though Barack Obama was a pretty honest guy, have they said things that were proved to be not true? Yeah, probably. But the idea that we're going to pair Donald Trump to other politicians, again, beyond ludicrous and absurd on any level.
I think we have somebody that might disagree with you, but
you think
we have some people
You're
that
very
definitely
subdued there in that response.
We have somebody that definitely disagrees with you, and she was at ShoeCon. I don't know. She might disagree with you, Chris.
They're after him for no reason. Go out and vote for Trump.
By the way, didn't she sound a little bit like Ann Coulter? By the way, Ann Coulter's an intelligent lady, but
she had a little bit higher voice, but I can understand that.
Treason.
Ann Coulter, by the way, was on Bill Maher this weekend.
Sarah Palin. The media. That chick sounds like Sarah Palin. It's the media.
Ann Coulter being her very racist self on Bill Maher, and both Bill Maher and Van Jones try to reel her in.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sarah Palin.
Look at his family. They're all good kids. All good kids.
Boy.
And I can see Russia from my house.
All good. I'm telling you, it sounds like Sarah Palin. 702. Was Sarah Palin at ShoeCon? I don't know. 702-221.
She was hanging out with Glenn Rice there, I think.
702-221-7283 is the number to call. Let's go to Darren. Darren is next up on Pushing Limits. Hi, Darren. Darren, are you there, sir?
Darren in the house.
Yes. Hi, Darren. Go right ahead.
Hi. So a couple of phone calls they were asking about you have Trump sign.
Yeah.
And I have him sign my Denver Broncos hat.
Oh, you would? Why is that?
Because no matter what they do, they're just terrible at it.
I kind of like that. That's
Ba-dum-bum-bum.
Maybe have him sign a Detroit Pistons jersey. That'd be another one that I'd probably have him sign. I like that, actually. That's a good one. Have him sign a Denver Broncos jersey. I think that's a good one.
Another thing that Trump's not very good at, it's called football, okay? Yeah. Remember when he was an owner in the USFL, and he essentially just dragged down that entire league with the New Jersey. So you wanted to get him to sign your Denver Broncos hat, maybe get a New Jersey Generals hat, have him sign and see if he's down for that.
Darren and Chris, to defend Donald Trump, he is capable of scoring touchdowns. Stormy Daniels says he did it in 8 seconds. So, he's capable of scoring touchdowns. He's good at that, at least.
That was a Shap joke right there to the caller.
Yeah. Darren?
One more thing, sorry. What do you think of Trump making fun of that disabled guy?
Well, Darren,
a couple years ago.
Sure. I remember that, Darren. And thank you so much for the phone call. So we all remember what Darren is talking about, where he made fun of a handicapped man.
Multiple hand gestures, trying to mock him. Yes.
But this is who Donald Trump is. Listen, it says all you need to know about somebody when he talks about our brave men and women in uniform as suckers and losers. That's all you need to know about this guy. And for these people on the evangelical right, or this crazy lunatic lady at ShoeCon, he's a good Christian, he's a good man. Obviously, that woman is a complete lunatic. When you call our brave men and women in uniform suckers, when you make fun of a handicapped man, and he makes these hand motions, you know what I'm saying?
When you say I like people that were not captured,
right? I mean,
prisoners of war.
It is.
I mean, you're just basically a disgraceful human being, and you're a piece of you-know-what that I can't say on the air right now.
Well.
So
the orange turd.
Yeah,
it's a perfect name for him.
Is.
So yes, what did I think about it? That's who Donald Trump is. I thought it was disgusting, atrocious, despicable. But that's who Donald Trump is. He is a despicable human being who's lived a life of lies. And this is a guy that's been sued thousands and thousands and thousands of times. Okay. There's a reason for that. Not every person with money is sued thousands and thousands of times, but Donald Trump has been. 702-221-7283 is the number to call if you'd like to be a part of the conversation. Let's go to Barbara. Barbara is next up on Pushing the Limits. Hi, Barbara.
Hi, Barbara.
Hi. I was just on your show a few weeks ago. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think you need to turn down your radio or wherever you're listening because there's a little bit of a delay. So if you can do that.
Okay, let me do this here. Hold on, I'll turn it off here.
Okay.
I was on a few.
Yes, so if I remember, Barbara, you are the lady who went to jail for the January 6th insurrection. Is that correct?
No.
Okay, I'm thinking of somebody else. Go
I
right
was
ahead.
I was on right after that lunatic lady that was trying to take pictures of you from her phone and saying that she was broadcasting out of out of a station or whatever.
I remember. Yep, I remember. When you say I was after that lunatic lady, it could have been a number of people, so I just wasn't sure. I'm glad you clarified. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But since then I've been having a bad luck all the way around. I just lost my youngest son here.
Oh no! I'm sorry
a few weeks ago. Right after I talked to you, actually. But
so sorry.
I know he's going to want me not to just sit around and not fight for what is right. So I'm still going to pull myself up and get word out there about Donald Trump is a threat to our democracy. My God, I had 5 brothers that were in the military, including my dad, and my dad will be just appalled.
Mm. Yeah, I think we all should.
I just wanted to let.
First of all, I'm so sorry to hear about your son. That's terrible. I'm sorry to hear that. And it sounds like you have a lot of heroes in your family, a lot of people that serve this country, which I appreciate. Chris served this country as well. When you hear somebody like Orange Man, who dodged the military multiple times, who was a coward, who attacks our brave men and women in uniform, I don't understand, Barbara, how anybody who served this country could support this man. Listen, I don't understand how anybody could support him, especially somebody who served, right?
Right.
And to Barbara and Brian, look, when it comes to this, I sound like a broken record when I keep saying this, but there's still, even though he says these disgraceful things when it comes to my fellow veterans and people that were in the military, there's people that will rationalize around. They'll make excuses for him. Right. And they'll be there's military members. There's military members that supported him in 2016. They supported him in 2020, and they will support him in 2024 specifically because he has an R next to his name and because Republicans will do things in Washington, D.C. that Republicans want done, and they will just dismiss these things that Donald Trump says. Yeah.
They don't have no shame. It's just like telling them what they did to, they say one thing one day and they turn around and the next day and say, I didn't say that. And it's they're so just egregious. I
don't disagree with you, but you actually reminded me of something, Barbara, a kind of a programming note for you. Speaking of somebody who is a Trump supporter, the former Nevada Attorney General, who is a Republican and a Trump supporter, his name is George Chanos. He's going to be joining us in studio tomorrow. So I know I'm going to ask him about the indictment scheme and all this other stuff. He's a Trump supporter, so I'm going to dissect his brain a little bit. Former Nevada Attorney General joining us in studio tomorrow. Barbara, I am very sorry about your son. You hang in there and you call back anytime, okay?
Thanks, Barbara.
Thank you, Brian, and you guys keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you. That means a lot. Thank you, Barbara. You too. You have a good day as well. 702-221-7283, 702-221-SAVE. Let's go to Edward, who's next up on Pushing the Limits. Hey, Edward, what's going on, man?
What's up, everybody? Long time no hear, man. How y'all doing?
I'm
doing good.
I'm doing good, Edward. What's on your mind, my friend?
Not much, man. Feeling like a Ted Bundy on a Tuesday. I feel pretty good right now, man.
But it's Monday. It's Monday, though. It's not Tuesday.
Whatever.
What you got for me, my man?
I want to switch gears for a minute. Hey, let me ask y'all, do y'all get a lot of political signs in y'all cities and stuff like that? Where local officials will put them up on people's fences and walls and all that?
Yes.
Do y'all get that?
They're
just like every other state in America.
Yeah, they're very annoying.
Yeah.
Very annoying.
I don't know. Yeah, they're kind of annoying. I'll tell you what, we had one last week where one flew off, someone ran over it, and it ended up getting into a wreck. I will say this. I want to switch gears for 5 seconds, but those signs are getting very annoying after a while. Seeing them constantly becoming littering, and they can become hazardous.
I did see a political sign with a Trump MAGA Republican running for office here in the state of Nevada. I'm not condoning this behavior, but I will admit that I did laugh at it. Somebody put a Hitler mustache on one of these people, and I'm not condoning that. I'm not saying that's a good thing, but I'll be honest with you. I did laugh a little bit. These signs are ridiculous. First of all, if you drive past one of these signs without knowing anything about the person and you vote for them just because you saw a sign, I mean, like, what are we doing here as a society? What are we doing? Like, I don't vote for people when I know nothing about them. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? I see a
Do
sign.
some homework on people.
Yeah, like you see a political sign.
Well, here's the deal, though. We're in the election cycle right now. We're in the beginning of it, the early stages, right? This is absolutely something that's going to be prevalent here as we roll up to November. It's that time of year, guys.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
but put.
And I'm talking about I'm talking about local as well, not just presidential, but you see these signs constantly everywhere, and they're just in your face.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, there's a lot of things that are in your face. I mean, just ask
There's
Chris
going to
Wynn.
be ads on TV, right?
Just,
Radio.
I was going to finish my sentence and say there's a lot of things in your face. Just ask Chris Wynn. He goes to the strip club all the time. So, sorry, that was an inappropriate joke. Yeah.
Chris, you look great, by the way. You look like you lost weight, man.
Oh, wow.
You do?
You look like you lost weight.
No, he's saying
you
look
talking
like,
about me?
Yes, not me.
Yeah, you look like
I
you
lost
lost
maybe
weight.
a couple pounds. Yeah. He's like that. Shapiro goes. He's the backup, and he's like, "What do you mean? Look at the torso right here, baby."
I'm done.
Hey, I
I'm
appreciate
Superman.
that. Edward, good looking out. Yeah,
Andrew.
I dropped a few lbs. I did. You know,
Thank you.
Gotta get the blood pressure under control.
You
which
made-
is very difficult when you hang out with some of the hoodlums that
Bring-
myself and
Hey,
Brian
Chris,
Shapiro
bring-
and Numchuck hang out with here in Las Vegas.
Edward, you made
who
Chris's
get
day.
us fired up.
Hey,
it's very difficult.
Spring break will be here in no time. You got that six-pack abs going on. You're looking good, man.
Oh,
You're
man.
looking
I'm
money.
going to throw up. Anyway, Edward,
Going back to my college
Edward-
football days,
All right.
my friend.
Edward,
my D3,
thank you for the call, Edward.
defensive back
Appreciate
wide
it.
receiver days.
Thank you for the call, Edward. We appreciate you, and thank you for lying about Chris Wynn. It gets me very upset when you compliment him. All right, a couple cleanup notes here for you. First of all, as I mentioned, tomorrow on the show, he is a MAGA Republican. He's the former Nevada Attorney General. George Chanos has agreed to come in studio tomorrow, so that's going to be a very interesting interview that you're not going to want to miss. I also want all of you guys to follow me on my socials. The YouTube page is at PTL Radio Show. The website is PTL Radio. And you can also check me out on X and Facebook, the best places to interact with me. We ask that you, if you're watching on the Occupy Democrats Network, that you click that subscriber button. It's only a cup of coffee, $5. Maybe a cup of coffee at Starbucks is more than that these days, but $5 a month, and you get personal interaction from yours truly and some extra content. So please check that out. All right. Now, I like to give tickets away, Chris, to my loyal listeners. The only caveat to this, I know there's people listening all over the country and really in other countries as well. We have people calling in.
Yeah.
You have to be in Vegas. You have to live in Vegas, okay? The show Jersey Boys I'm a big fan of. And I've teamed up with the Jersey Boys, and they're performing at the Orleans Casino. And I want to give you guys free tickets all week long. So you got to live in Vegas, and I want you to be the third caller right now. And the third caller right now will win a pair of tickets to see Jersey Boys, which is a great show, by the way. You could also check out their website, jerseyboys.vegas. So the third caller right now on the show is going to win a pair of tickets to see Jersey Boys. Also, I can tell you that the remainder of the week, we also have some very, very special guests lined up. I'll share with you probably a little bit more tomorrow. If you want to continue watching the show, then you're going to have to watch the feed on my YouTube page. The remainder of the show is going to be on my personal YouTube page, free to subscribe, which is at PTL Radio Show, where we will continue the show on the other side. Thank you all for watching on the Occupy Democrats Network, and you feel free to switch over, and we are going to switch topics when we come back. He's Chris Wynn. I'm Brian Shapiro. Again, third caller right now, you win a free pair of tickets to see Jersey Boys. That number is 702-221-7283. And again, that number, free pair of tickets to see Jersey Boys at the Orleans Arena, 702-221-7283. You just scored yourself a pair of tickets to see Jersey Boys. Take a quick break, and we'll be back right after this. It's Pushing the Limits right here on KSHP. Did you know that 99% of air conditioning issues start with airflow issues? Well, guess what? Pioneer Air has your back. They've been operating for 20 years in the industry within the Las Vegas area, large enough to handle all your air conditioning and heating needs, but small enough to know your first name. Pioneer Air focuses on preventative care, much like wellness checks for humans. They believe in wellness checks for air conditioning and heating systems to extend the life of the system you own. So what are you waiting for? Schedule your wellness check with Pioneer Air today. The number to call is 702-831-4840. Here's the best news. Mention this ad and you'll receive 10% off. Call Pioneer Air today. 702-831-4840. That number again, 702-831